Yeah there. So today we are going to solve another LeetCode problem named insert interval. Medium level, and it goes like this. You are given an array of non-overlapping intervals where intervals I represent the start and the end of the ith interval. The array is sorted in ascending order by starts of the intervals. You're also given an interval newInterval that represents the start and the end of another interval. So we must insert this new interval into the array such that the intervals array is still sorted in ascending order by starts of the intervals. And intervals still does not have any overlapping intervals, which means that we must merge overlapping intervals if necessary and return the result. And there is one note that we don't need to modify intervals in place. We can make a new array and return it. All right, so let's start solving our problem by introducing a new method, merge, which is actually going to merge a couple of any intervals. So according to the task, those intervals are always the size of 2, and we should also return the array of 2 as the result, but only in case if there is some overlap. So the result is going to be optional. All right, so first of all, let's check which interval goes first, and for that we are going to create the low interval and high interval variables and check the intervals first values. So if interval 1 stands before interval 2, or at least its first value, then the low interval would be the interval 1. Otherwise, it's going to be the opposite. So the low interval is going to be interval 2 and the high interval is going to be interval 1. All right, so now let's check that the low interval second value, the end of the interval, is less than the high interval last value, which is the end of the interval. If no, then it means that low interval completely overlaps the high interval, and we could just return it as a result of the merge. Now let's check that the end of the low interval is actually, well, greater or equal to the start of the high interval. If no, that means that we don't have any overlap, right? And we could just return nil. Finally, if we passed all the guards, we can return the start of the low interval and the end of the high interval as a result of this merge. Great. So we have some method to work with, and finally let's start to work on our main function. So we are going to have our result, which at the beginning is going to contain all the intervals, and we would need to modify the result in this method somehow and return in the end. So we are going to use a loop and start iterating through the result through the intervals using the index. And at the beginning we are going to start with index number 1. And while index would be less than the result count, we would try to merge the new interval to the result. I should say that we are going to return the result immediately if we are going to have such merge. So we would finish the cycle only in the case if no merge would happen. In this case, we are going to just append the new interval to the result and return it as is. Okay, so at each iteration of this loop, we are going to get our interval by index, and now let's check its values. Well, first of all, now let's check that the end of our new interval is less than the interval start. If so, it means that, well, we need to put our interval our new interval before this index into the array without any merge. So we are going to put the new interval at index and just return the result. Else we should try to merge our interval with the new interval. So let's use the if let construction, and we are going to use our method merge. So we are merging interval with the new interval. So, and if it succeeds, then, well, we need to handle that. So let's just assume that we are going to have some put merged interval method where we are going to put this merged interval to result. Of course, it's going to be some kind of inout argument, and we are going to provide our index over here, and we could just return the result. All right, so if neither of these happens, if we didn't put the interval before the current one or we didn't merge it, then we are going to just increase the index by 1. All right, so now we need to just write our put merged interval method over here. So we have the result of the merge. We have the result which we should modify, and we have index to work with. Okay, so we shouldn't just merge our new interval with the one which we found, right? Because this merged interval actually could overlap a lot of other intervals in the result array. So let's find the first index of the interval which should not go into this merge. So we're going to start with our current index, and we are going to iterate through the result until we are not out of the elements. So the index is less than the result count. So let's check that we have the interval to merge. It's going to be this interval with the not merged index, and let's finally check if we can merge it. And for that we are going to check that our merged interval end value is greater or equal to this interval to merge start value. If it's so, then this particular index, this particular interval, well, it's going to be merged. So we are going to increase the index of not merged index and continue our search. If it is, then we are going to break our loop here and not wait to the end of all the iterations in there. Great. So we have our first not merge index, right? So the max index to merge in this case is going to be the not merge index minus 1, so the previous index. And we could now check if max index to merge is greater than index. If it's not, then, well, we have only one index to merge. In this case, we are going to just replace the interval at that index in the result with our merged interval. Otherwise, we should create a new interval which contains like all possible, all the other intervals inside them. So we are going to create the first, we are going to get the last interval to merge from the array. So we have its index over here, and we are going to have the new merged interval, which is going to replace the original one. So, and it's going to contain two values. So the start of this new merged interval is going to be the same as the original one, but the end, it depends. First, we actually could, well, put there either the end of our merged interval if it is greater than the end of the last interval, or we are going to put the end of the last interval to merge if this value is greater. Finally, we are going to put the new interval to the result at this index, and now we need to remove all these merged intervals from the array. So for that, we need to create the range of all these indexes to remove. So it's going to be the range of integer. Here we are going to have to use the unchecked bounds constructor, which requires to provide the lower bounds. In this case, it's going to be the first index to be removed. It's the index +1, and the upper bounds is the index which is not going to be merged. So it's the no merge index. Finally, we are going to remove the subrange from the result using this range. All right, let's check for any compilation issues. Nothing over here. Great. And finally, let's submit it and check the performance. Great. As you see, the execution time of this solution is less than 1 millisecond. It actually stays somewhere on the edge of the threshold, and that's why it's shown that it was executed in 0 milliseconds, and it beats 100% of other submissions. And that's it for today. If you'd like to see me solving other LeetCode problems, then put your request to the comment section. See you next time. Cheers.